How we doing, everyone? Sam here from United People's TV, here with the live match reaction after Man United's 1-0 defeat to Feyenoord. What can you say? Let's run through the game first of all. First half very similar to the first half against Man City, a team pressing against us not pressing against the team. And then you see the second half against Man City, we changed it, we switched it up. We did switched up fuck all against Feyenoord. That was an absolutely dismal, embarrassing performance from front to back. I mean, where do you start with that? You know, Man United gave Feyenoord so much respect. They sat off them, they waited, they let them play ball, and we were second best for the whole 90 minutes. There wasn't one point where I thought United are getting on top here. United could get back in this game. What do you think about the game? That just left me massively frustrated because it repeated the mistakes that we made against Man City. You know, the Man City game was woeful, and I thought, no, we won't do that twice. We'll learn from our mistakes. We'll change. We'll play a little bit more aggressive. And you see a midfield three of Schneiderlin, Herrera and Pogba. I was buzzing. I was like, that is exactly what I wanted it to be. But it didn't make a difference. Pogba was invisible. I want to run through a few player analysis that I actually saw during the game. I think Schneiderlin was excellent. Excellent. He was okay as a defensive midfielder. I think he offers more than Fellaini in that role. I think Rojo is trash. I don't think he should be playing for Man United. I don't want to see him playing for Man United. I don't think he's good enough to play for Man United. End of discussion. But Pogba, now there is a real talking point. You think, Pogba, I wanted to see him in a free roaming central midfield role, the exact role he got tonight. And he was hardly anywhere to be seen against a very average Feyenoord team. But Man United did a very good job making Feyenoord seem a lot better than they are. Right from the get-go. I don't know what Man United were doing in that game, but we just gave them so much respect. We sat so deep, and clearly that was Jose Mourinho's game plan. And, if it was 0-0, coming away from home in Europe for the first game, 0-0, on paper, that's a draw. That's okay. You can live with that. Now we're 1-0 down. We've lost. Feyenoord have got 3 points. It makes it far more difficult. It means we have to get a result away against Zorya or away against Fenerbahce and win all 3 of our home games to hit that 10 points. United have made it hard for themselves. I'm going to run through a few of your comments now. Imran saying can't be playing with 2 defensive midfielders. I didn't think we were playing with 2 defensive midfielders, but we ended up playing with 2 defensive midfielders. It was Schneiderlin sitting deeper and Herrera and Pogba in front of him, which I thought was the perfect midfield. But then Herrera dropped a little bit deeper as the game went on, and Pogba went a little bit further up. So in effect, we were playing with 2 defensive midfielders at that point, and it just didn't work out for United. With so much presence at the back, we lacked it going forward. You saw Marcus Rashford, I think Feyenoord were playing a really aggressive, really dirty game, and they got away with it because I think the referee should have sent off a Feyenoord guy in the second half for what was a clear second yellow card. He decided not to. I mean, let's not even get into the fact the goal was blatantly offside right in front of the linesman, but he didn't call it. But that wasn't the reason United lost, although technically it was because they scored from it. United, that was a self-inflicted defeat, exactly the same as Man City. And that's 2 games in a row we've done that. And I didn't think that we were going to do that. I thought we were going to see the errors of our ways, and the starting 11 told me that we did. But clearly not. A few more comments here. Ronak saying they need to press more United and win the ball back. Simple maths. We did it in the second half against Man City, and it made the world of difference. But we didn't do it against Feyenoord, and Man City are a better team. So that's got to be down to tactics. That's got to be down to Mourinho himself telling players to sit a little deeper and not go so aggressive. And it played into Feyenoord's hands just like it played into Man City. Imran again saying Martial doesn't seem the same player as last year. There were a couple of points there where Martial looked really good running with the ball, but on the whole, Martial, I agree, Martial does not look like the player he was last year. And it's a little bit worrying. I do think he'll come good at some point, but we're yet to see when that is. I don't really know where to move on from that. Why would you repeat the same mistakes that you made against City away from home in Europe? It doesn't make any sense at all. I thought that was a strong enough 11. It was a strong enough 11, and we even brought Zlatan and Memphis on in the second half. I think Ibrahimovic made a difference straight away in having a target man up front. But then it didn't lead to any goals. He had a couple of chances, but nothing real clear-cut. And United hardly had any clear-cut chances the entire game. Memphis looked shaky. Sort of understandable. I expected him to when he came on. But What are United doing wrong here? Do you think this is all a tactical decision, or is just the players have yet to gel and this is the start of the season? It's not the be-all and end-all early in the campaign, but I'm just surprised at how poor United have done in 2 consecutive games. Comment here from David saying, to be honest, would rather be out of the competition so we can concentrate on the league. I disagree. I love watching United in Europe. European football is romantic. We have great memories in Rotterdam from Mark Hughes in 91 against Barcelona. So I was buzzing for the game tonight. I think some of the players were, not sure, but it was flat. Very, very flat from the first whistle to the last whistle. So maybe not. The nerd without the glasses, that's a terrible username. He's saying, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during the match. There was actually a fan in the stadium who genuinely did fall asleep during the match. So you're probably not the only one. AWS saying Pogba needs a huge push of motivation. No negativity from United fans. There's a difference between negativity and criticism. There's a difference between constructive criticism and just criticism for the sake of it. Pogba's not playing good enough. He knows he's not playing good enough. He'll push himself upwards. Man United fans telling him he's not playing good enough is not necessarily a bad thing. Sally saying, I think Pogba needs some guidance and someone to instruct him. I think Carrick could help. Now, I do think Carrick, he was in my predicted 11 for tonight. Did we miss him? I'm not sure. Probably did. Well, we lost, so we must have missed something. And so, something that a few of you are saying there, did we miss Wayne Rooney? Now, I think Juan Mata was very poor because Feyenoord came extremely aggressive, and he's a very, very weak player. He doesn't like going shoulder to shoulder. It's not his game. Because of that, Feyenoord had a massive advantage, and they took advantage of it, and they kept pumping it, and they kept going hard in on us, and we couldn't cope. And it's very surprising because I think we all sort of expected Feyenoord to play like that, but maybe Mourinho didn't. Zohan saying that Memphis should have started, and RVP saying that Depay needs to step up. The kid's not had much game time. He's a super talent. We all know that, but we haven't seen the most of it at Man United. Will we? I'm sure we will at some point, but we definitely didn't see it there at the end. What else are we going for? Ahmed saying we struggled against Hull City, lost to Man City, and now in the Europa fucking League. Not been the best start to the season, has it? But we've won a few games. We've seen elements of progression, and because Mourinho's a man who sticks to his guns, but he can adapt and change like he did in that second half against Man City. I'm not worried at this point, but United do need to improve. Joey here saying Pogba gets closed down extremely fast. They need more creativity in midfield. I think Pogba was the creative player in that midfield. Herrera too, not so much Schneiderlin, but Pogba just didn't do enough. You've got to criticise your players when they don't play well, and Pogba didn't do enough in that midfield role. Imran saying we lack a silver type creator. Mata, I suppose, could have been that man tonight, but he wasn't. Sally saying Carrick is a very intelligent player with leadership qualities, and maybe we did miss that in the midfield then because we didn't. I don't know. I feel a little bit lost for words just because it's a very similar sort of game to City against far lesser opposition. We sat deep. We invited them onto us. We invited the pressure. We tried to soak it up. And we did for the majority, but that lacked in us going forward. We didn't pose enough threat to this Feyenoord team, who were very, very average. And they've now come away with a 1-0 win. They've got 6 wins on the bounce. AWS saying today's game lacked leaders on the pitch. I believe that's why we didn't perform well. So maybe Carrick was the missing linchpin then. Francisco saying, come on, bad positioning of players. Pogba not living up to his price tag. No tactics, just basic football. It was a very basic game. To go back to him, Marcus Rojo, awful player. I think Matteo Darmian, he was caught lacking at a few points as well. Good to see Chris Smalling and Eric Bailly together for the first time this season. I think that will be our centre-back partnership across the course of the season, but we'll see how it goes. Overall, a shit performance, 1-0, worst way to start the Europa League, but United have got Watford in a few days to jump straight back on the horse. Do you think we'll do it? Let me know. Drop a like on the video, everybody, and subscribe to United People's TV. I would say thank you for tuning in, but it's been a pretty dismal reason to talk after a 1-0 defeat to Feyenoord. But what can you do? What were the problems? You let me know in the comments, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Take it easy.